Hey, this is Bambi, and I'm with Mary Baker, who's the CEO of Navigenics. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Bambi.
So, Navigenics, what's your goal, mission in life?
Our mission is to help you live a healthier life for longer, because it's not just about living a long life, it's making sure we're healthy and can enjoy taking those trips to Bhutan and gardening in the yard and being with those kids later in life. So we want to keep you healthy, Bambi.
So if you check out my genome scan, if that's what you could call it, what are you really finding out about me that I couldn't find out, or that I could find out already from knowing my family history?
Yep. So first of all, some conditions, things like diabetes and heart disease, there's a large diet and exercise component to those that you might say you already know about. And one of the things that we've heard from people who've gone through the service so far, though, is that by knowing their own personal risk, it helps make them more motivated versus just listening to general information. Secondly, regarding the family history that you talk about, is the question is fundamentally what are the accurate stories in your family history, and what if you don't know your family history? So what our service tells you, what really is in your genes, what you really did inherit, and in a much greater specificity and understanding than often can come through a family lore.
So does this really improve your health? I mean, you could be diagnosed, or you could see that you have a high propensity for Alzheimer's, and maybe even lead a generally like healthier lifestyle. But does that even really prevent it?
Well, some of the conditions can definitely be prevented, right? Heart disease, you can prevent by taking the right steps. Alzheimer's, the belief is you can delay the onset. So the key there is detecting early. So there are therapies, there's medications, but they only work if you take them early on. And so the benefit there is if you can push off the onset of these diseases, or take a disease like celiac disease, which you can't cure, but what you can do is change your habits so you can prevent negative side effects.
Okay.
So all of these things have something you can do to improve your outcome.
So $2,500 annually, $250 a year, or a month after that,
no,
right?
It's $2,500 for the initial scan, all the genetic counseling that you might need to help make sure you understand these results, and then the whole first year of service, and then it's $250 per year after that. And you might say, well, why this ongoing fee? And it's because right now we get 1 million points on your DNA, but that's not the whole thing.
Right.
If you wanted to get the whole thing today, that would cost you about $350,000.
Wow.
So what we can do to help keep those prices low is get some data right now, and then as we go along, keep capturing more data points on your DNA so that you can make sure that your results are the most up-to-date and accurate and reliable based on the new science and medical discoveries that are coming out. So your data is always up-to-date.
Okay, so from $350,000 to $2,500 sounds
it's a
little
deal.
doable. So, but who's paying this? I mean, I guess you want the 20 to 30-year-olds so they can do something about it, but who's the target for you?
It's a person who is being proactive about their health, which seems to have less to do with age and more to do with, are you focused on living, being proactive, living a healthy lifestyle, and wanting to make sure that you're doing everything you can possibly do. You don't want to get caught by surprise. You want to be doing the things you can do.
What's the downside of this? Why wouldn't you want this information out, or who don't you want this information to fall into the hands?
Yep. There's a couple things. First off is, the initial reaction I get from people is, I don't know if I want to know. And of course, the flip side is, do you want to get caught by surprise? And like most of us, if we know we need to plan for our financial retirement. Not everybody does a 401k or an IRA, but a lot of people do, and people understand how you need to plan for the future. I think there's a lot of analogies of that for this. It's better to plan for what's coming than all of a sudden get stuck there. And so it's really the person who's proactive about it. And then, so why the other concern that can come up are issues around insurance. And right now there's legislation, about half the states have legislation in place to protect people from discrimination, from employment and insurance, and there's federal legislation working its way through right now that we're very hopeful will get passed soon.
Okay. How are you different? This is a pretty hot sector. There's a lot of companies now popping up like 23andMe. How are you different? How are you better? And they're also going direct to consumer.
Yep.
And they're cheaper.
Yep. Our focus is on this scientific curation, first of all. So what we're doing is we're making sure that what we report to you is of the most accurate, highest quality science, because there's a lot of stuff out there. You know, the biggest criticism on this space is the science isn't ready. And the reality is we agree with that on a large extent. More than 95% of the studies out there we don't feel are of sufficient quality for you to be making decisions on. And so we make sure that you've got the best, most accurate information. We arm you with the information and support so you know what to do next. And we work to make sure that you have the infrastructure in place to take advantage of that information. Okay,
final question about funding. You've got great backers, Sequoia, Kleiner, more Davidow. You raised $25 million, but this is not a Web 2.0 company. So I imagine you're burning a lot. How long does that take you? And if you can talk about how much are you burning a month?
Well, it's enough to last us for quite a while yet. And so it is this interesting, it's neither a classic life sciences company. We don't have to invest in building a big lab. We can, contract for that sort of a thing. But you're right. There's a lot more infrastructure in place than you would have for a classic Web 2.0 company. So we're sort of somewhere in the middle. And the good thing is we've got incredibly supportive investors and are really prudently trying to manage that cash flow, but also making sure that we think this will be big over the long haul and making sure we are investing appropriately to help build this whole industry out.
Is this part of an insurance company? What are you when you grow up, or who do you partner with?
We are, in the reality, integrated into what we believe over time. This sort of thing will be integrated a part of healthcare. Okay. That this is the sort of thing your physician will eventually order this for everybody, and he'll be able or she'll be able to take your healthcare and move it from being personal to much more personalized. It's another tool in the physician's toolkit to deliver better care.
Selling to physicians or also being part of an insurance company?
Insurance may reimburse it. Would certainly be part of how we can help reach this out to be accessible across a broader population.
Okay. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Bambi.